please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so today we will be continuing my 3 Reasons Why series with the Montreal Canadiens. So in this video, I will be giving you 3 reasons why the Montreal Canadiens will make the playoffs this year and 1 reason why they will not. So before we get started, I just quickly want to remind everyone to please hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like. It really helps out a lot in helping the channel to grow and the video get seen. And if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all my hockey content. Got a lot of great stuff coming your way the rest of the season and obviously through the playoffs. So the Montreal Canadiens, currently pretty far back in the Eastern Conference, 67 points. You need 76 to get in right now. It's going to be a long road for Montreal if they want to make the playoffs this year. Number 1 reason they can still do it is Carey Price, their goaltender. If Montreal is going to make the playoffs this season, Carey Price needs to go back to being that elite Vezina level 2014 highest paid goalie in the league type kind of Carey Price. He's been okay this season, 910 save percentage, 2.76 goals against average, 26 wins on the year. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great. And we've seen Carey Price over the last couple of years really kind of decline and take a step back. He's not the goaltender that he was 5-6 years ago. He just isn't anymore. He's getting older. The team in front of him isn't as good, and he's just not that player anymore. Montreal, if they're going to get into the playoffs, needs Carey Price to be that player again for just a month. For 1 month, Carey, please be that player again. They're going to need him at an elite level if they're going to somehow make up 9 points in the month of March and get into the postseason this year. I think it's very unlikely, but it's not impossible. If they're going to do it, though, they need Carey Price to be that goaltender again. Reason number 2 that the Montreal Canadiens can still get into the playoffs, leadership. Particularly Shea Weber and Brendan Gallagher. These are the leaders of this team. 2 guys who I really, really respect and love watching. And they're gritty, old school in a way, kind of, just big time leaders. And they're going to have to lead this team. They're going to have to make sure that the belief level is there in that locker room. They're going to have to, give it all out on the ice and lead by example on the ice and play their best hockey of the season here in the final month. They're going to have to be the leaders that they are and that they can be, and they're going to have to lead the way for this team if they're going to somehow get into the playoffs. A lot is going to fall on the shoulders of Shea Weber and Brendan Gallagher because those 2 guys are kind of the heartbeat of that locker room, and they're going to have to, they wear letters on their chest for a reason. Weber, the captain, Gallagher, obviously an alternate. They're going to have to be the top guys, and they're going to have to lead the way. And they're the kind of character, gritty, old school players that can do that. And I love those 2 as leaders in Montreal. I love those 2 as players. I respect both of them a lot, and they're going to have to come up big here for the Canadiens if they're going to somehow pull this off and get into a playoff spot before the end of the year. And the final reason that Montreal will make the playoffs this year, if they do, will be their road record. Montreal is actually a fantastic road team this season with a better record on the road than they have at home. They are 16-12-3 on the road this season. They've had no problem winning games away from their own rink, and that's going to come up huge for them if they do find a way to get into the playoffs. We look at their upcoming schedule. They have some very difficult road games coming up against the Islanders, Lightning, and Panthers. Going to be very difficult games, all 3 of those right there. Then they have a Western Conference road trip in the month of March at Anaheim, LA, and San Jose. Obviously, their California trip for the season. And then they go at Colorado. That is not going to be easy. They come home for a week, and then they finish up the season on the road at Chicago, at Nashville, and then at home or on the road against Toronto in Toronto on the last day of the season. So they have some really big road games here in the final month or so of the year. They're going to have to win some of these road games if they're going to have to win not just some, a lot of these road games if they're going to find a way to make the playoffs this year. They've been a good road team so far this season. They've got a lot of road games left. I believe 11 road games left. They're going to have to find a way to win, those games if they're going to make up 9 points and get in. Now, we've talked about the 3 reasons why Montreal will get into the playoffs. If they do, it will be because of Carey Price, their leadership group, particularly Shea Weber and Brendan Gallagher, and their road record this season. Now let's talk about the one reason that they won't. And the biggest reason that Montreal will not get into the playoffs this season is mediocrity. They're a mediocre team. They're not a playoff level team this year, and they weren't last year either. And for the last couple years now, Montreal has been a mediocre hockey team, and that's just what they are again this season. 29, 28, and 9. 500 team, 1 game above 500. That does not get you into the playoffs in the NHL. The NHL is too good of a league with too many good teams for 500 hockey to get you into the playoffs. This isn't the NBA. If this was the NBA, 29 and 28, oh, you're golden. You're a 6 seed in the NBA. 1 game over 500, you're a 6 seed. But this is not the NBA. This is a much tougher league, a much better league. This is the NHL, and 500 hockey does not get you into the playoffs. And unfortunately, Montreal has been a mediocre team for the last few years now, and they're a mediocre team again this year. They're not bad. They're not a bad enough team to be getting top 5 draft picks consistently and one of the worst teams who are going full on through a rebuild, but they're not good either. And they're not good enough to make the playoffs, and they're just one of those average, middle-of-the-road, mediocre hockey teams, and that is not going to get you into the postseason. So if I had to guess, obviously I would predict that Montreal does not make the playoffs this season. I really don't think they have much of a chance left at this point in the season, being 9 points back with only a month to go. I really don't see it happening, but they are technically still in it. So I wanted to do a video for them like I am for all the bubble teams. But of all the teams I've talked about, I think, Montreal has a very, very low chance of making the playoffs, almost 0. And they're not going to be in the postseason this year. But there it is, guys, my 3 reasons why video for the Montreal Canadiens. 3 reasons that they will make it and 1 reason that they will not. Obviously, I don't think that they're going to make it. They're too far back at this point, and they're not a playoff team. They're an average, mediocre, middle-of-the-road team. They're not a good team. They're not a playoff team, and they're going to be on the outside looking in this season. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.